Hi guys, so let's start with this week's chart review. So the first stock will be YTL. I think YTL is slowly climbing back up after the heavy sell down over here. So if we measure, it will be about a 27% correction before it's starting to climb back up. It's above the 50 days moving average now, which is of course a good thing to see. But I think you need to give some time, because I don't think there's a very solid candle over here forming. You see there's a lot of wick over here from this range to this range. Actually most of the days it didn't really close well lah. Okay, so I think need to give some time to see whether this is an actual move or just a kind of a rebound. But it has, if it's able to close maintain above 1.53, then it should be good lah. Okay, because 1.53 is kind of like, you know, the trend line down and the most recent resistance lah. Okay, so next PTRB. I don't think PTRB looks good. It's kind of moving downtrend. I don't think it has formed a higher high, nor has it formed a higher low. Okay, so at the moment I think it's still going downtrend and will need some time lah. Okay, it's still within like this range, and then there is this gap over here for it to close. So for me the chart doesn't look that good yet lah. Okay, next DSONIC. I think this stock is technically in sideways. For me, I don't think there's much things to see over here. The high volume over here was just a one-day tick, and if you notice, the high volume started from about this, or you can even say started from about here, 0.45, but the stock has already broken below 0.45 level. Okay, so it's already trading below. It's about 0.44 now and went to a low of about 0.425, which means I will assume that people who actually entered here has already come out lah. Okay, next RENEUCO. Again, I don't see anything good in RENEUCO. It's basically just forming lower low and lower high along the way. You can see this is a new lower low, and the sell down here was with heavy volume. Okay, not light volume. Then over here you see selling volume is again high lah. So for me, I think it's just going downwards. I don't see any trend of it coming back up yet. Okay, I don't feel like it has found bottom yet. I think previously the bottom was assumed about here, 0.205, but it's already lower than that now lah. Okay, next is SKYWLD. SKYWLD may have actually found its bottom here. It may have actually found bottom, and I think this base over here is quite good lah. It's quite a nice looking base. High volume over here being rejected. Next day not so high volume also being rejected. So for me, I will assume that the resistance should be this entire zone lah. Okay, for me lah. Okay, I think it needs some time to actually break out from this resistance, because I think from IPO it hasn't really gone up yet. They may be forming the first base. I think the chart looks a bit similar to day 3, but day 3 had one hammer formation, whereas this one don't have. I think this one is some piercing in bullish candle or something like that. I'm not so sure, but I think this base here looks pretty good lah. Okay, you can see the volume is kind of dried up already, not much of movement over here, and price action is also quite stable lah. Okay, so it may have bottomed. Of course your resistance will be within this box, and if it's able to break out from this box, then we may be looking at it turning up again lah. Okay, KERJAYA prospect, this one is bullish lah. Okay, I think recently volume has started coming in from around August. Okay, you can see the volume is like much higher than previously. Previously, you see the volume come in is just for a short while, then after that it kind of disappears. But currently the volume seems to be going higher. Maintaining there lah. Okay, and if you observe from here the breakout candles, okay, and then this entire zone over here, actually the volume is quite low lah. Okay, until the breakout over here, high volume, and then subsequently another breakout, high volume also. Okay, then you see this candle, high volume, sell down, but subsequently managed to actually overcome back that level. So for me, I think it looks pretty good. The next support that it may form will be somewhere here lah, 1.44, which is the previous resistance, and I think it's already attempting to challenge the 52-week high, or maybe all time. No, not all time lah. Okay, this is not really 52-week. This looks like more like a 2-year high lah. Okay, and being resisted, so I think it should do some pullback first before it attempts to go higher, since there's some form of resistance over there lah. Okay, next is JUX. I don't really think there's anything in JUX. Okay, I think this was just a pump and dump. Okay, pump up, then people thought, you know, finally break out from the channel, pump up, then pull back down. Currently the price is already below what started the price that the candle started with, which was 20 cents lah. Okay, currently it's already at 205. It broke down and came up to 0.19 already. Personally, I don't think there's anything trending in JUX lah. Okay, it looks more like a sideways kind of thing now. Okay, if you were really to see it moving up, you will have to cross 0.245 first, because that's like the most recent resistance, and you see it's not able to break out from 245. Okay, it will be even worse if it breaks below 0.17. Okay, M and G, I think I'm reviewing this chart almost every week. Basically it's sideways. There's not much you can do when a stock is in sideways. Okay, unless you are some range trader lah. Okay, because I think I reviewed last week also, it's like here, and then it's just trading within sideways lah. Okay, but I don't see it really in a very bullish manner. Okay, here it already retested the support, and I don't like stocks that keep retesting the support lah. Okay, unless you want to look at it in this trend line. Just give me a moment, let me try. Unless you want to look at it in this trend line lah, then maybe yeah, it's moving up, but we don't bias towards the trend line lah. You look at it in this manner. Here is side, here is go up, then here is obviously side again. So for me, I think it's sideways lah, nothing much to see until it decides to form one side or the other lah. Okay, LEFORM, this is generally sideways, kind of penny stock lah, barcode stock, but I think it looks not bad with the resistance at 0.25 kind of broken with quite high volume also. So it may go and challenge this 26 cents, which is the all-time high. Also happens to be 52-week high lah. Okay, at this zone. So can monitor and see. I guess the support should be somewhere here lah, 0.235. Okay, yeah. It looks quite bullish lah. It looks like it's breaking out from the long-term sideways. Okay. HTPADU. Generally, I don't have anything to comment on stocks that can just limit up in one day. Like there's no news, nothing, then suddenly limit up. I don't really see any news coming from HTPADU as well. And all the while, the stock hasn't really been having any movement at all. Okay, every day it's about like, I don't know, less than 200k, less than 300k. Okay, I don't see much movement lah. Okay, so I honestly don't really have much to comment for HTPADU. It all depends on what the operators want to do lah. Okay, RANHILL, kind of rebounded from the lower trend line of the channel, lower part of the channel, and broke out from the channel line. It's actually moving quite parabolic. But just a word of advice, I think you need to be a bit careful, because you can see a lot of wicks forming above. RANHILL actually rallied due to news YTL Power is buying into the company, buying up the shares, and it actually rallied lah from there. Okay, until now. But you can see there's a lot of wick forming lah. I think the resistance is 0.98, touch 2 days, and didn't manage to break lah. Okay, so stocks cannot go up in one line forever. They definitely have to come back for some form of pullback lah eventually, and maybe that's now RANHILL's turn lah. Okay. Okay, HHRG. I think very long ago I actually saw like some potential in the stock. I think here, okay, you can see like an inverse head and shoulders over here, but subsequently it didn't materialize. It broke down. Okay, so I think it's kind of forming like a base over here, quite quiet, not very quiet, quite quiet only. And then you have this candle over here lah, okay, which is quite high volume on Friday. Managed to break out from the previous resistance of about 0.255. You will need to look for some follow through days. Without the follow through days, then this is technically speaking not a good rally lah. Okay, you need to look for the follow through days, and then after that only it will be a confirm uptrend lah. Okay, but currently it's kind of like attempting to break out from the sideways lah. Okay, Dialog. Did anyone ask for Dialog? Let me check back. Yeah, Dialog 10%. Okay. It's kind of sideways lah. I don't see much movement over here. It's kind of just sideways all the way. Okay. Quarter report coming up. Coming up, haven't come out lah. You need to be a bit cautious lah with what happens in the QR. Okay. But the stock has generally been sideways all the while lah. not much movement to be honest. Okay. HARTA. I think in many of my previous case studies and reviews or stuff like that, I always mention about gloves. I've always been mentioning that gloves will eventually come back into play, and maybe now is the time lah. Okay, HARTA is actually having profit. Okay, I have mentioned this many times ago. It's not to say the news come out, then after that I just tag along. Based on the chart, it already shows that there is some kind of demand back. Okay, and even previously also I did mention that if you compare the charts between all the 4 glove giants, HARTA and Kosan have better charts compared to the rest, and I don't think I'm wrong lah. Okay, for HARTA, I think this is common, breakout candle of highest volume that's followed by lower volumes, and if it seems like it's trying to find a support now lah. Okay, after a very good breakout, I think it's trying to find some form of support. So I think you need to give the stock some time lah, okay, to actually find its support. There should be quite a few points for it lah, okay, to actually form support. But generally, I think the trend is there. It's for me, I think there is momentum, and I think it's pretty bullish lah. Okay, this is actually an example of a failed head and shoulders. Okay, you can consider this as like a head and shoulders. Okay, which is supposed to break down quite badly, but it didn't. So it consolidated over here, but then over here you can see multiple VCP patterns. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here also you can see a small inverse head and shoulders. 1, 2. This is the shoulder, this is the head, this is the shoulder, then another shoulder, then break. Okay, so generally it was bullish lah. It was bullish from quite some time ago. Okay, so gloves, I think I wouldn't say gloves are back in the market lah, back in the streets or what, but I think there is some demand lah in the glove sector. Okay. I think this will definitely be a short-term resistance lah, 2.44. Then your medium-term resistance will be somewhere here. Okay. Okay, SFPTECH, generally I don't think it's doing well. Like I always mentioned before, I don't like charts where the rebound is just one V-shape, because V-shape rebound technically means there wasn't enough time to wash out the weak retailers lah. Okay, so that is why I actually don't really like V-shape rebounds. So currently, if you look at it, high candle volumes are coupled with very long wicks above, which is bearish, and other than that, the buying volume is not that high also lah. Okay, even though it's high, then you see, the closing is not nice. If it's able to break out from this level of about 1.07, then you can relook lah. Otherwise, I think it's just kind of a dead cat bounce lah. Okay. Next, HEVEA. This is a penny stock. It's obviously a barcode kind of pattern. So generally on an uptrend. Okay, still on an uptrend. Your resistance and support is as shown inside on the screen. You need to wait and see whether it's able to form a new support first before attempting to break out again. But generally, I think it looks quite good, because if you look at this, from here to here, first attempt, then another attempt, then another attempt. Okay, and every attempt has been coupled with pretty high volume. Okay, that means there is really some demand here trying to absorb the sellers at the resistance lah. Okay, so I think it looks pretty good for HEVEA. Okay, next is SKYWLD. I don't really have much to comment on a stock like this, which can just run up, limit up, and get thrown double its size the previous day. For me, it looks more like pump and dump lah. Okay, I think it's all related whether they win the case against Apple or not. I think something like that. And if they lose, of course, it will come tumbling down, and if they win, probably it'll just limit up for a few days or whatever it is lah. Okay, so I honestly don't see support and resistance for a pump and dump counter like this lah. Okay, so yeah. PJBUMI is kind of sideways lah if you look at it. Nothing much lah, to be honest. I really think it's just sideways lah. You just have to wait to see how it pans out lah. Okay, you see even this huge gap up also, it can be sold down so badly to close the red. Okay, then this high candle also go up but come back down, and the next day immediately already closed below the candle. So this is your new support lah, 0.92, and if it closes below 0.92, then obviously it doesn't look good anymore lah for the counter. Okay. JETSON. Yeah, JETSON rallied quite well since this base over here. This base actually looks quite similar to which counter? I think this. No, not this. SKYWLD, I think. A bit similar lah. You see here is like quite dry. Okay. So if you ask me, is it HEVEA? No, not HEVEA. Yeah, so anyway, the base looks quite good lah. You see the volume is very quiet. Okay, then on the breakout the volume is high and continue with high volume lah all the way through. So generally I think it looks quite good. This will be the next resistance lah. Okay, 0.345, and if it's able to break out from there, then you have a confirmed rounding bottom and a breakout from the resistance lah, of course, which is a very bullish thing to have. Other than that, I think you just need to wait to see what pans out lah. Okay, but generally I think it's changing trend already. Okay, it's attempting to change lah at the very least. Okay, REDTONE. I think I have this in my case study for this week as well. It looks quite bullish to me. It looks forming something like this. Okay, the third cup already, and it's really attempting to break out from this 0.74 area lah. Okay, so if it's able to break out from 0.74, then definitely it will look much better lah. Because quite long already consolidated, and the resistance has been here quite long. Okay, if we switch over to the weekly chart, nah, I can't really see. It's just around the bottom on the weekly chart. Yeah. But anyway, REDTONE looks quite bullish lah for me. Okay. CORAZA, nothing much to comment because it's quite obvious in a downtrend. I don't think he has formed a higher high or a higher low. It looks more like this is the new low, and then it's attempting to go higher, but there is some form of resistance at 60 cents. Okay, if you're considering this, I wouldn't really assume this is a strong resistance lah. I think it's just like, you know, came down here, then sideways, then go lower. So I think you need to give some time first lah. Okay, KAB generally sideways from here until here has been sideways only. Increase or decrease in volume also just sideways lah. So for me, I think nothing much to see in KAB. Okay, the candles are within about that range only one. Okay, TECHBND, again, I don't see it being bullish yet. Of course, it's challenging the downtrend line. Okay, wow. Really? Yeah. So fast I drew this line. Cannot be. Okay, it's technically just challenging the downtrend line now. Okay, and then it came back down already. Okay, kind of very heavy selling now over here. Then directly pushed down to the opening price back. To me, it doesn't look bullish at all yet lah. Okay, so support and resistance stays the same lah, as you can see in the on the screen. Okay, MTAG sideways also. Again, nothing much to comment. It's just sideways here. No, not much movement up or down. Look at the volume also. Technically, there's nothing much lah. Okay, so for MTAG again, I don't really have much to comment. Okay, MINOX IPO stock. I think it needs to find a base. It needs to find a bottom, find a base first, and form its primary base before it can attempt to move anywhere lah. Okay, anywhere. It will have to. It will have to form a base first lah. Okay, and at the moment I think it's attempting to lah. Okay, putting aside the first day volume, I think it's quite dry already lah. Okay, unless it can break out from somewhere like this 0.335, I don't think it's changing trend yet. Okay, DNEX is really sideways. I don't see anything to comment to. If you look at it, it's just like this lah. Okay, it's kind of trading within this range lah. For me, I think there's nothing much lah. Okay, so you will need to see what to do with the stock. Okay, FFB broke down from that range and now it's attempting to go up higher lah. Okay, but it's generally still trading within the box that I drew previously. Okay, with the resistance of 1.28. Until and unless it can break out from 1.28, there is no trend change yet for the counter. Okay, If you can break, then yes lah, it forms like a rounding bottom over here, which looks quite nice. Okay, but as long as you know trades within here, actually there's for me there's nothing lah. Okay, Mr. DIY looks not bad. Looks not bad. The resistance is at 1.58. It managed to break out, then the next day failed lah, so kind of reversed already. But then hit the bottom over here, then rebounded. So this is like a double bottom kind of pattern. Kind of like a terbalik opposite cup and handle also, but just the handle is basically the base of the cup as well, which is not something good. So just for your info, your handle should be about 66% of your cup height only. Okay, if it's more than that, then it's quite prone to failure lah. Okay, generally if you look at it, it's downtrend based on the moving averages, but then sideways lah if you look at the candle now, and it is attempting to break out. Okay, quarter report is coming out soon, so that's something for you to bear in mind lah. Okay, other than that, I think you just need to wait for the stock to show which direction it really wants to go in the end. Okay, PAOS. Oh, last stock. Somebody asked for spring. I don't know how I missed it. Let me just go spring first. Sideways spring. Okay, your resistance you must be able to break the resistance of 0.225 first, then only you can see some trend. Okay, otherwise you are basically having here higher. Okay, then here you have something like this so you just need to wait and see what happens. Okay, PAOS, I don't have anything to comment for this counter. For me, it looks more like a pump and dump until and unless it's able to prove that it is not. Okay, if you look at here, it's generally just sideways, no volume, nothing. Okay, you look at back at history also, one day high volume like this, then subsequent days all dry. High here, high volume, then dry, nothing. So I got nothing to comment on such counter. Okay, next is Swift. I think this selling volume is quite scary. I think the quarter report came out, profit more than doubles. As usual if let's say a quarter report comes out and it gets sold down, then people will say it's a sell on news already expected. But if a quarter report comes out and it goes up, then of course people will say it was an unexpectedly good quarter report Okay, so for me, I think it may have been contributed because of a sell on news. Maybe some people have some insider news that the quarter report is going to be very good. Okay, because looking at here, profit more than doubles of course, who don't want to have double profit, right? Chart wise, I think you need to give some time for the stock to digest all those selling before it can turn bullish and uptrend again Okay, generally I think it needs some time. Okay, I think the support and resistance hasn't changed. This one ran up to about 615, which also happens to be previous resistance, which is also the gap area Okay, but you need to give the stock some time to digest all those sellers. Okay, HUPSENG. Wow, looks good actually. Actually, I had this in one of my case studies one of the weeks. I can't remember. Let me go and have a look. September, September 18 means somewhere here. Actually I had it it already looked good that time. So this was a washout candle, then there's a gap up and stuff like that So HUPSENG profit triples in quarter 3, so it got triple then fly up, means better than expected Okay, it's just basically just like that Okay, I think they need to go and cover this gap first before it attempts to rally Okay, but in the event that it doesn't, then we have to wait and see to see where is the new support and resistance that it forms. Okay, EWINT, again, I think I'm also reviewing this chart every single week. I don't think there's any changes. It's still finding a 52-week bottom, which it kind of looks like it found, then it broke down from the level again. So I think generally you need to give the stock some time lah to see where it wants to go eventually. Okay. For me, I think it's just downtrending. If you want to find a support, probably it will be this one 285, and other than that, I don't think there's anything much in the chart because the entire trend has changed due to the dividend X date. Okay. While high volume, but I really don't know whether you want to consider it as a pump and dump or not, because I think the last time high volume came out about here, then it came down, then high volume came out about here again, then it continued going lower. Okay, now it's kind of forming like a rounding bottom, then here high volume again, then no volume again. For me, I feel macam it is lah. Okay, but if you just look at the chart review itself, then yes, your resistance is about here, 0.42. And your support will, it hasn't formed a new support yet lah, but I assume maybe it'll come to about here. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Okay, and the support will be, I mean the confirm one is here lah. Okay, PCS, I think this one, oh, on home building, yeah, I remember it's home building one. First, it doesn't look good 52-week low, kind of never form a concrete base or so, and it seems to be continuing to go down. So I don't think there's anything to review here lah, to be honest. Okay, it's literally just a downtrend counter. ASIAPLY, sideways. I don't think there's any trend also. ASIAPLY became famous during COVID, I think because it does plastic panels to ensure that you can put panels in between the tables and viruses kind of don't spread lah. Okay, but I don't think it's anymore like a hot thing now, because COVID is basically in daily lives now. Okay, so I really don't think there's anything much here. It's just sideways like at the moment. Okay, and I don't see any trend or momentum here. Okay, CENGILD, like I mentioned before, which I've reviewed quite a number of times as well, it's basically just downtrend lah. I don't see the stock taking a break or anywhere yet lah. Okay, it already break the all-time low, okay, which was formed here 335. It's already below it, and it seems like 340 is a new resistance for the stock. So definitely doesn't look good lah. Okay, VIZIONE, wow. I got nothing to comment here. It's basically a very penny stock. Volume comes in and there is still no movement. Volume coming here again, no movement. And currently there's no volume at all, so I don't believe there will be a movement lah. Okay. 1.7 billion shares. Okay. I don't think there will be a movement for now lah. Okay. Yes, I think it may have found its bottom. Okay. Previous low also about 0.04, now it's 0.05. It may have found its bottom, but I don't think there's a trend here lah. Okay, generally I don't think there's a trend at all. Okay, LUXCHEM, not bad, looks quite good. Recently volume has started coming in already. Let's look at the past. Okay, high volume come in, then not much movement. High volume again, sideways, go down, high volume. Okay, on a weekly chart it looks not bad lah. Okay, weekly chart look not bad, but daily chart I think you need to monitor and see whether there's some follow through this or not, to see whether the counter has a follow through buying demand or not. Okay, so if you look at it, I think it's the first time I'm reviewing this counter. So if you look at here, I think this is the most recent support. Then I think it's trying to form a support over here at the previous resistance. And of course your resistance currently will be at this level lah, 575. Okay, just give the stock some time lah to see which side it pans out. Okay, to know whether it's a real breakout or a fake breakout. Okay, THETA, I think this was the day it limit up, then next day got high selling. So you can see that there's some heavy selling over here already at this zone, and I believe the stock needs to do a pullback before it actually attempts to go higher again lah. Okay, because there's so much of sellers. If you actually don't do a pullback, you don't wash the weak retailers out, I don't think there's a chance for you to actually go up, to go higher lah. This is just what the books say lah. Okay, NETX, I think this is a penny stock. I think it's something like a pump and dump. Okay, we look at this. This is a pump, and then it's sideways, no volume at all, and then there's another pump up to here, then now it's coming back down. Let's see the previous patterns. Here, pump, then come down, then pump again, and then come down again. It looks quite similar to me lah, but of course I'm not telling you that it's going to happen lah. It's just based on past history, it looks like it lah. Okay, so to me it looks like that lah. Okay, your support will be here and your resistance will definitely be here. Okay, oh my god, so many pennies. Okay, Eden, basically it's sideways lah. I don't see anything. I think Eden will only become hot during elections. I think it's related to one of the political candidates. Okay, other than that, I don't think there's anything much in Eden. Of course, there's quite a high volume here, but other than that, doesn't seem high. So high volume, 17.95, only got 249 million shares, and it didn't move. It looks abnormal lah to me. Okay, but yeah, if you are talking about trend, then yes, it seems like it's moving higher. Okay, and if you are talking about current thing, I think it's sideways lah. Okay, attempting to break higher. PGB, another penny stock, another one I don't think there's anything to comment about. Okay, let's look at all the high volume days. This is 4 million. Okay, attempt to go up. This is 9 million, went up, came back down, close rate. This is 8 million, went up, close rate. This is 4 million, went up, and currently the price is already below it lah. So for me, I think it's another pump and dump lah. Okay, so nothing much to comment. Okay, ASDION, wow, again another, I think same pump and dump one. Again, not much movement. I think it's sideways, then it's kind of already at the support lah. Okay, nothing much to comment as well. RAMSOL, okay, RAMSOL basically has a support at 0.405. It's attempting to break out from this downtrend line, but it's not successful lah. Okay, this downtrend line is quite sharp. So if the stock were to continue to go higher, definitely it has to break above 4.435, and it has to stay above it, so that the stock can actually climb higher. As long as it doesn't go above that, I don't think there is any chance lah. Okay, the resistance at 435 seems to be quite strong because it has hit for about like 5-6 times and still hasn't been able to break above it. Okay, so RAMSOL, I think you need to give some time to see lah. If it breaks from 405, I think it's kind of like continuing a downtrend already. Okay, KPS, hi, I also don't have much to comment. Okay, I think the chart explains itself lah better than me. Okay, basically quarter report will come out, and then it will gap up, then it will reach a peak, and then it will gap down. Okay, then it will pull sideways until another one. It will gap up, come back down, gap down, finish story. So this one looks quite same to me lah. And every time the gap up comes, is quite near the quarter report lah. Okay, this one is after quarter report. Okay, this one is quite near quarter report. So I don't know whether you want to classify. Sorry, I don't know whether you want to classify it as a pump and dump or not. But it looks like the pattern looks quite similar lah all the while. Okay, and this indicator of mine, MCDX, is actually kind of like a smart money coming in lah. It looks quite similar lah every time. Okay, that's all I can comment about the stock. Okay, IWCT construction, I think it depends on construction counter whether it's going to do well or not. If it doesn't, then all the construction counters won't do well lah. IWCT, I think, is quite related to the Johor side one. So if there are money flowing in from that side and there are contracts being approved from that side, I think it will continue going higher lah. If it doesn't, then I don't think it will move much. Okay, so currently it's being resisted by the downtrend line, and unless it can form, it can break above the downtrend line and form a higher high, higher low, then I think it will just continue going down lah. Okay, Econ BHD, I think there was news about I think this one. Something about news about you get a project or something, and then the next day kind of gapped up or something like that. But I think for me, generally, it's still in sideways lah. there isn't really a up or down. If you look at it in a longer time frame, I think it's up lah, something like this. But if you look at it nearer, I think it's kind of sideways. So depends on the market trend lah. Okay, you need to have the construction team behind you before you can actually move. Okay, before funds can actually come in to the sector and counters lah. Okay. Next will be Pekat. Pekat, I think is downtrend lah. Okay, you look at this one, it looks quite clearly downtrend lah. So actually it's quite accurately in the channel lah of going downtrend. Okay, so for me I think it's still in downtrend lah. I don't think it has turned uptrend yet. Until and unless it's able to break above this resistance of 0.45 to 0.45 to 0.455. Okay, otherwise I don't think it's back in uptrend lah. Okay. MFLA, I have this inside my case study also. I think this is quite a strong and nice breakout. Multiple times it has actually attempted to break out from this resistance of 0.66, but didn't manage to. Let me just have a look. Yeah. Actually in October also I kind of spotted this, quite interesting. So October about here, then I came wash people down, then after that came back up and finally broke out. So if you look at most of the patterns of the stock nowadays, they tend to wash you down one time from the previous cup low before they break out. Okay, it seems to be the method nowadays lah. Okay, so same here, so wash down and then break out from here lah. Okay, so currently it has broken above the downtrend line and also above the resistance lah of very long this resistance. Yeah, about 5 months at this resistance. Okay, I think it looks quite bullish, and of course it may just do a pullback before it continues to attempt going higher lah. Okay, AGMO, I think it's sideways, nothing much to comment here. It has been sideways for I don't know how long, and I think it's a bit hard to understand what this company does lah. I know it's something to do with software, but I think it's a bit hard to understand. Okay, so for me AGMO is just sideways lah, nothing much, no trend, uptrend or downtrend in it for now. Okay, my EG same, I think it's sideways, nothing much to comment. I think the chart speaks for itself lah. Okay, kind of always hitting the resistance, then coming back down, and then hitting the support, and then coming back up. I think I think nothing much to comment lah, to be honest. Okay, next is CEB. I think CEB is quite bad. Okay, it seems to be forming lower lows and lower highs. Let's see what I can get from this chart. Something like this lah. Okay, downtrend line still quite valid. I don't think it has ever even been able to challenge anything from the chart lah. Okay, I think it's still like finding a new base lah, because it's really just down. Okay, so I guess need to be patient. I don't know, but it doesn't look good lah. Okay, Takaful looks not bad. Okay, despite the heavy sell down over here, it's attempting to climb higher and higher. So currently it's about at this zone 3.65 lah. Okay, and it's standing above the 50 days moving average already. So this can be just a minor pullback. Okay, and this is the resistance lah. Okay, 3.86. Okay, and this is technically the previous resistance. They managed to break above and came back down. Okay, so if it may just attempt to re-challenge the resistance again, okay, before it actually attempts to go higher. Doesn't make sense. What I mean is actually I think what will happen is something like this, because there is a heavy resistance over here, so it may just form something like this, and then you can see like the selling volume here is very heavy. Okay, so you may just consider to do something like this. Okay, and then maybe smaller one and continue going smaller lah. That's what I mean. Okay, maybe only. Okay, this is not a crystal ball kind of thing. Salcon, I think Salcon had some news. Yeah. Yes. So look at this. Berjaya unit becomes substantial shareholder for Salcon, and the stock jumps up. I think more than 100%. 57, 50, 60%. So yeah, it's kind of news related lah. There's nothing much to review in the chart because it's basically news related lah. Okay, same like RANHILL lah. YTR power buy into RANHILL, then the stock jump up lah. Okay, quite similar. Nothing much to review. Next, ECA. Sad story for ECA. Cause I think there was news that NASA bought into ECA, and then subsequently the stock is continue going lower and lower. So it's currently at the support already. Almost at IPO opening price also. Doesn't look good lah for me. Okay. At the 52-week low spot already. Okay, nothing much to see. Generally, really just downtrend lah. Okay, this head and shoulders also looks like materialized already. If we measure a 1-to-1 for the head and shoulders, let me just have a look. Somewhere here. Yeah, about there lah. Okay. So I don't think it looks good lah. Okay. AHB, I think this one really penny lah. The stock chart also look really barcode. Don't think there's much for me to review. Support is definitely at this level, and I think your resistance will be somewhere here lah. Okay, other than that, I think there's nothing much lah. I'll reach this one even more penny. Again, I don't think there's much to see here. Yeah, I really don't think there's anything to see lah. It's a 4-cent, 5-cent stock. You see a high volume over here of 78 million. I don't know what's the amount of shares float. It's generally sideways, attempting to break out from this level lah. Okay. Well, if you're able to break above this 4 cents level and stay above it, then likely your trend will change lah. But other than that, I think it's quite tough lah. Okay. If you look at it on a further trend line, then I think this is a first low and this is a lower low, and this all the way is lower highs lah. Okay, so it's kind of attempting to break out from the downtrend and also sideways. But judging by the volume, if the last you saw a high volume over here, from the high volume until now, it has only changed 1 to 2 beats lah. Okay, that's all. Yeah, so nothing much for me to comment on Outreach, honestly. Hex Industries. Again, I don't think there's anything much. If you really look back at the videos and the chart reviews I did, basically there's no changes at all lah. It still remains within the trading range only. Okay, within the support and resistance. Okay, so honestly, I don't think there's anything much to review about. UZMA, oil and gas counter, will very much depend on whether oil prices are going up or not. But I think oil prices are not going up despite the inflation going up lah. Okay, so the UZMA and all other oil and gas counters will actually depend on the oil prices lah. Okay, nothing else can dictate the prices of the stock, unless suddenly they get a contract or the quarter report is super good, then of course maybe. If not, I don't think there's much lah. Okay. Menang, sideways lah. Okay, definitely sideways. Nothing much to comment as well, because it's really just sideways. The high volume here, half of it is actually sellers, or more than half is actually sellers lah. Okay, so yeah, basically just sideways lah. You want support and resistance, this will be your support lah. Okay, and your resistance will be somewhere here. Okay, and my last stock is Sedania. I think it broke down from this triangle, then went down and now climbing back up. Need to take note that you are approaching quarter report soon, which of course I don't know whether the report will be good or not lah. Okay, so this base looks quite good, but generally if we look at Sedania, most of the time when the volume comes in like here, then it's quite dry for quite some time before another huge volume comes in lah. Okay, other than that, let's see. It has formed a 52-week low at 0.165, and for me, I don't really see the stock like turning uptrend yet lah. Okay, I think maybe you just need to give some time lah. And I think I just missed one last stock, which is JF Tech. I did notice JFTech over here. Okay, this is a failed head and shoulders, and it started to rally higher. Okay, it actually broke the downtrend line and it's attempting to go higher, but most of the closers have a wicks above lah. Okay, that is one thing you need to be careful. Quarter report coming up soon is also one more thing you need to be careful. The correction V shape, something that I don't like personally. I just don't like it lah. Okay, so one thing is definitely broken out from the downtrend line, and it looks pretty bullish lah. Okay, it actually tapped in onto the 50 days moving average and started moving higher. So other than that, I think it's still within this range lah. So my support and resistance don't change for JFTech lah. Okay, so that will be all for the chart reviews this week. As I mentioned before, I am actually short of time, which is why I'm looking for partners. And of course, I have partners, but they are all under training and will require some time before they are a bit more hands-on and familiar with the charts. Okay. So before that happens, I will still be doing chart reviews and also my weekly case study list. But I don't have that much of time, so most of the time I will actually cut short and I won't explain so much in detail lah. Okay, it won't be such a like a lengthy kind of thing. I will try to keep it short. So I hope you guys can understand. If let's say you really need further explanation on the charts, or you need to understand more on the charting, how charting works, or anything, you can feel free to PM me lah. Okay. Other than that, as usual, before we close, I will have my general comments and also my disclaimer lah. So for general market commentary, I think the US market is quite bullish, but I don't think it's that bullish for the Hong Kong and also China market. Okay. I'm not so sure why is the US market so bullish, because I don't think the inflation records speak well of themselves, and I don't think the Feds are done hiking, because I don't think inflation is coming down as how they wish it would. Okay, if I'm not wrong, one of the reasons why the Feds are not brave enough to reduce the interest rate despite the lower inflation is because number one, they target 2%. And number two, they are afraid of the rebound inflation which happens. So what has happened in the past is that when they start reducing the interest rates, the inflation kind of jumps up again. Okay, so they want to make sure that there isn't this rebound inflation happening. Okay, so I think on Friday, Fed chairman actually spoke and mentioned that they are actually quite far off from settling with what their actions for inflation is. Okay, but however, market rallied despite those statements. So I am not really sure why the market is rallying still, but it seems to be inverse to what has been happening before. Okay, so nothing much for us to do. Okay, we are not economists, so we just follow what the trend is lah. Okay, so generally market for US side is quite bullish. For Hang Seng and China, I don't think it's that bullish, and Bursa, I think it's not bad, to be honest. I think selective stocks are actually doing quite well. Okay, so you need to see lah. Okay, so with that, as usual, my disclaimer: this entire video is of a chart review is done for educational purpose only. There is no buy or sell call involved in this entire video. So if you require a buy or sell call, please seek for your licensed remiser or your licensed financial advisor, as nothing here should be considered as a buy or sell call. Okay, so with that, thank you. That will be all for this week lah. Okay, I'll see you again next week. Okay, thank you, take care, bye bye.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.